Hey, beautiful people, welcome to episode 181 of Credit 101. In this episode, we're going to talk about protecting yourself from discrimination, especially when you guys are applying for credit. So, there are some things that you guys definitely have to do, and I want to kind of go over those now. And I want you guys to check out my blog because I haven't written it out to make sure that I'm not missing anything. It's more detail if you guys need more detail. And you can also schedule a call with me on my website, Rickita.com, and I'll be happy to help you guys. But you guys first, to make sure you're not getting like credit discrimination, make sure you guys know your rights. If you don't even know your rights, then how are you going to be able to know what you're fighting for? So make sure you guys know that you got the Fair Credit Reporting Act, the FCRA, and this is making sure that our information is accurate, it's confidential, meaning that everybody's not just getting our credit reports, and it has permissible purpose. So we letting them know that, hey, these people can't get it. They actually was able to get our credit reports. And then we have the Equal Credit Opportunity Act too, the ECOA. So this is going to prohibit discrimination, okay? And make sure you guys just, if you see anything, just say something. Like if you feel like you've been discriminated against through this whole process of whatever you're trying to apply for, just say something or do something and figure out what's your next step. Now, make sure you guys review your credit reports because maybe you just don't have good credit. Sometimes we have to just understand that, like, I don't know, I want to just say it's not a race thing, but maybe we just don't have good credit. Maybe you have to fix certain things. Be honest with yourself. If that's what it is, you need to fix something, then go ahead and fix it. But if it's not that, then make sure you guys just continue to go forward and just know like the different red flags that could be happening. So some of the different red flags is just making sure that maybe if they start asking about your race or your religion, then you know that's really just a red flag that you will have to just say, okay, why do you need this? Like, you shouldn't have to ask about race or my religion, because they ask those different things, and it could be something that they're trying to discriminate you on if you do feel like it's discrimination there. And then make sure you document these different things. Maybe you want to keep a journal saying the different things that happen. And if you have further problems, think about filing a complaint. With the CFPB and the FTC and any state, local agencies that you guys have. And you can also seek legal advice. Reach out to an attorney. Maybe they can help you with this also. And educate yourself on like the different credit policies that are out there. Because if you know what their policies are, then you will already know what it is, like what's the policies and when it come down to lending, so educate yourself on those policies. And this is the biggest one. This is literally on my school right now, you guys. If they can't do it, you be the one to do it. Okay, if somebody can't do it, you have a problem, you be the one to do it. Okay, so advocate for yourself. If no one else can help you, then you advocate for yourself and build a strong credit profile. Because guess what, if they can't take you at whatever you go through at one company, one credit union, one bank, you can go to another company. Always remember that you can go to another company, especially when your credit is right. If you got your stuff together, you can go somewhere else. Always remember that. So make sure you build a strong credit profile. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to schedule on my website. Again, Rickita.com. Let's look at some like the different things that I do have on the website and what some nice things that I want you guys to check out. Hey, welcome to episode 182 of Credit 101. In this episode, we're going to talk about the different credit discrimination laws that you need to know. Now, a lot of these I don't know. I had to learn about this, and that's how I was able to even put this together. But I created a full blog that actually go over all of these. For all the episodes, there's a blog. So definitely make sure you guys go over these different things and understand that we do have things out there. We just have to really search and find what rights we have and what different laws are out there. So the first one I want to talk about is Equal Credit Opportunity Act. This, you guys, is going to make sure that we have access to equal credits. Everybody else, it's not going to be based off of like race, your color, religion, your national origin, your sex, your marital status, your age, or because you receive public assistance, because that can be a thing too. But definitely make sure you guys look into that if you feel like you've been discriminated because of those different things. Also, we have our Fair Credit Reporting Act, which is the one that I love the most, to make sure that our credit is going to be protected. It's also things to make sure that it's 100% accurate, it's 100% complete. So definitely, I love the FCRA. That is my favorite. The Fair Housing Act, you guys. we had so much stuff going on back in the day with redlining. So definitely we have to think about the Fair Housing Act is with race, color, religion, national origin, sex, disability, or your family status. Okay, so this something that you guys definitely have to look into. Home Mortgage Disclosure Act. This is something I had to learn when I got a mortgage. This is basically saying that you are supposed to get your disclosure. I know in certain states, I don't know honestly, when it come down to business or personal, but I know when I got my loans, I had to be disclosed to them 3 days before I closed on them. That's something so that you can know all the fees, everything you get yourself into. You got 3 days to really think about it. Like, are you sure? You know, they don't even do that. Well, they do that with more marriages, but not everywhere. Like, you can go right into a marriage. I know in the state that I was in, I think they give you like a week to think about it or something. But definitely that is there because you guys are supposed to get the disclosure about your rates, your fees. Next is the Dodd-Frank. So this right here, you guys, this was for consumers, and it's going to be certain provisions for credit and lending practices. So definitely get more information about this. So and it's on my website. Let me move this out the way, Rickita.com. So definitely look on there and you can see the blog, and I should have it below in the description. And then to the Credit Repair Organization Act, you know, you guys have certain things where we're supposed to tell you, we're supposed to send you out a contract. So definitely you're supposed to get your contract to know exactly what we're supposed to do, what you're supposed to do. Definitely, again, this is in my blog. You can look on my website. And then also you might have some state level fair lending laws. I realized this. So when I did a lawsuit, they had federal and they had state. And I had to understand that I should just go with the state if I'm suing in state court. But you want to look at those different laws, okay, for the federal and the state. And if you guys have any questions, you can definitely call me. This is something where you really need a lawyer to go over your different things. You can literally do a Google search on what's your situation. Also, but I'll be happy to, you know, maybe tell you, hey, look into this, look into that. I'll be happy to help you guide to, you know, who you should probably talk to help you with this matter. But definitely on my website, Rickita.com, schedule a call. I'll be happy to help. Hey, beautiful people. Welcome to episode 183 of Credit 101. In this episode, we're going to talk about what to do if a creditor denies you, reduces, or even cancels your credit. Now, I went through all these different things, and they canceled my credit or denied it or reduced it, and I knew exactly what it was. So I want to teach you guys how to know exactly what it is. So first off, you need to know exactly what it is. So the thing is, to know exactly what it is, you guys have to literally ask them. Like, let me give you an example. If they're denying you for something, like they're giving you a denial, they should actually give you a denial letter. You should get that denial letter in the mail, usually in the 5 to 7 business days. They say, hey, we're gonna send you a letter out. We denied you. They'll let you know in the mail. Sometimes they'll send you an email saying, hey, we have a protected notice for you, and then you can put your information in there that they may request, and they'll tell you exactly why. That is your letter right there. Instead of them mailing it, they have it electronically for you. Now, if they reduce your credit, usually they'll tell you why they reduced the credit. Sometimes I don't remember receiving a notice for like reductions, but I have received reductions for sure. When it came down to reductions, I just seen that it was reduced. I never got a reason why, but you do need to call and understand the reason. I knew personally that they did not like that I held balances on all my credit cards. They thought that, something financially is going on, so they wanted to stop it. Like, they was like, oh no, we're not gonna make it so that she can actually not pay this. Not that I wasn't paying everything, but I had balances on everything. They don't like the high utilization. When you guys have high utilization, they want to actually start lowering your limits because they're starting to think, okay, you've been holding this balance for 9 months, just paying interest on it. That's like not normal. Are you having problems? And when you pay a big amount on it too, I realized, like, not only just holding the balance, let me not say that. You can hold a balance, that's fine. If you hold the balance, they could technically drop your limit, but they're not. But when they actually drop my limit, they drop my limit when I actually paid it off finally. Like, say if I held a balance for 6 months and I finally pay it off and I get one lump sum payment, that's when they want to drop your credit score. So be careful. If I'm going to pay off anything, I'm going to give them a payment at a time and I'm going to break it up. I'm not going to just give them lump sums anymore, because I find out when I do lump sums with certain companies, like Synchrony, Chase, two companies that did that to me, it's just a problem that I don't like. So definitely make sure you guys keep that in mind for the reductions, and cancel your credit. Usually don't cancel your credit anyway. When my situation, when I didn't pay on them, duh, like we're gonna charge it off. We're gonna give you a collection. So, but the cancel your credit, they can cancel it for other reasons, and they should let you know in the mail why they're gonna cancel it. But just if you had this problem, just review your credit report, see what's wrong. Like I said, I already knew I had utilization problems. If they canceled it, I already knew that they canceled it because I didn't pay it. Like, that's what it is. But review your credit reports and see what you can fix. And maybe you can see, oh my gosh, I got new collections. They didn't like that. I got new charge offs. I'm not paying my other ones. They don't like these different things, and fix it. So improve your credit profiles. Make sure you guys have at least 4 credit cards. You have everything on auto pay. You're paying it on time. You're not having any problems with that, because I've been fighting with this fly all the time. This whole time we're trying to record all these series of videos. So please, let's ignore this fly, just in case it's your first episode watching it. I recorded like 9 videos this whole time, and it's like this fly. It's just one day I'm recording and I'm like fighting it. So let's ignore it. I'm trying to ignore it too. But just basically improve your credit reports and your credit profile. Make sure you have 4 credit cards and 2 installment accounts. Okay, and make sure you pay on time, put everything on auto pay, and then communicate with them. Ask them, hey, why did you do that? Is there any way I can fix this? Can I get a higher limit? Can you increase it from this? Maybe you could drop it less than this. Talk to them and see exactly what's going on, and consider other credit options. I like this option too, because some credit cards, you guys, are just not going to do what you need them to do, and you need to move on to other credit cards. I just know that for sure, because I was stuck on certain credit cards, like, oh, I want this credit card, I want that credit card, and it's like, no. I'm just gonna get a credit card that's gonna give me what I thought you was gonna give me. I can get it somewhere else. Like, that's how I look at it. And I've done it multiple times. Like, still, I don't have some credit cards I went in the past, and I don't even care anymore, because I have other credit cards that replaced it. So if you find that they got a denied from this company, look on my website, Rickita.com. Look on there. I have a list that say pre-qualified without hard inquiry. Go down that list and see which credit card you want, because they'll let you know yes or no without a hard inquiry. So that is good. So definitely go there and check. And if you have any additional problems, make sure you guys seek professional help. I can possibly help you with this situation. I can see exactly what's going on, what you need to fix. So definitely schedule a call with me. It's on my website, Rickita.com. And just monitor your credit going forward. See if once you get the situation fixed, you move on to new credit cards. Make sure you keep monitoring, see where you at, what you need to fix, what you should possibly change, and address any financial issues that you're going to have in the future, if you have them right now, to make sure that if you having financial problems, you get the loans that you want, or you get with the financing that you need. Like, address it. Don't just say, you know what, I'm just going to just wait, or you know what, I'm not just going to get anything. Like, address it. If you need a loan for a specific reason, try to get it from another company, or maybe you should just get a credit card. Maybe the credit card will suffice instead of having to get that loan. And just pay the credit card off as soon as possible, and give yourself a set amount that you're going to pay on a credit card. Act like you're paying on the loan. But hopefully this video helped. Hey, welcome to episode 184 of Credit 101. In this episode, we're going to talk about post-bankruptcy discrimination. Now, it's just a few things that I really want to talk to you guys about on this topic is that usually after you have filed bankruptcy, you're trying to think about what job you're going to be able to get after you file bankruptcy. I remember I put some applications in and they asked about bankruptcy, or I want to get certain licenses. So definitely, if you guys had a bankruptcy in the past and you think you're going to get discriminated against, look at the different laws that's in this area. And don't forget, when it comes out of bankruptcy, you can definitely remove the bankruptcy from your credit report, because sometimes you got to see where they're looking. I'm not saying you should just be trying to avoid these different things fully. I'm just saying that a lot of times these bankruptcies are inaccurate on our credit reports, and we have the right to remove them. So you could definitely see on your credit reports, the errors, work to remove these things and find out where they're looking to find the bankruptcy, or they could be looking on LexisNexis, they could be looking on your credit reports, and just work to remove it from there. And start building up your credit report as soon as possible. As soon as you file bankruptcy, I really think that you guys should start building up your credit report. As soon as you know that, okay, I'm going to do bankruptcy, you need to start getting ready for that ahead of time. Like, you shouldn't just file. Like, it's so many different things you can have in place before you actually file bankruptcy. But this is something that I think that you guys should possibly just do a lot of research on. If you feel like you're having discrimination, you can't get a job because you're bankruptcy or certain licenses, and you think that you should not be discriminated on, these different things. So definitely look into this. And if you're having credit discrimination, maybe you just need to understand that sometimes people try to get certain credit cards that you just can't get that credit card. You just filed bankruptcy. Maybe you need to get some secure credit cards that's going to help you build your credit back up. So definitely look into that. And if you guys have any questions, definitely let me know. Hey, beautiful people, welcome to episode 185 of Credit 101. In this episode, we're going to talk about where you guys can report credit discrimination. If you guys feel like you've been discriminated against, you guys have multiple places where you can report it. I have a full blog about it, so you can read on each one of them, but I want to kind of go over each one of them so that you guys can look deeper into each one of them and see which one is best for you. So you guys can actually file discrimination complaints with the FTC. So if you guys have any discrimination, definitely look into the FTC. We use the FTC for different things when it comes down to just credit too. So it should be a familiar website. If anybody ever had fraud, it's the same website. So the Federal Trade Commission. So make sure you guys look into that. If you guys want to file discrimination complaints, I would suggest that one. I would also suggest the CFPB, especially when it comes down to credit. We also have HUD. You can do the Department of Housing and Urban Development. You can also make sure you guys do any complaints towards them. And then the EEOC, and this is for employment. Whatever state you're in, look into your state attorney general's office, and also any local consumer protection agencies out there. You guys may have some that can advocate for you. And I remember being in Wisconsin, we had something called like community advocates, and they advocated for certain things, and you can go there. I remember going there years ago. So definitely look into your local consumer protection agencies, and also the Better Business Bureau. You could do a lot there because a lot of companies could be listed on there. So definitely do the Better Business Bureau so that other people can see it and be aware of it too. And just look into any type of legal assistance, because maybe this may be a legal matter, but hopefully this is going to help. So if you guys have any problems, you'll be able to find the resources that's going to help you. Hey, beautiful people, it's Rickita. I'm back with another video. So in this video, I want to talk to you guys about credit card comparisons. Some people just go and apply for credit cards. And I think that sometimes, we have to actually look at certain things to determine which credit card we want. I'm at the point in my life where I literally want to look at the numbers, look at the data on credit cards. I'm not falling in love with any credit card. I'm falling in love with what the credit card can give me. That's the only thing I can do now. Like, anything else to me is going to be a failure. Like, this is for me personally. So these are the different things that I look at when I apply for credit cards. And I want you guys to just see like where I'm at in my head, because I remember when I messed up my credit, I had to start building my credit up again. And I had to apply for credit cards. And I'm like, oh, why is this credit card not giving it to me? Why is this one not giving it to me? And I used to just cry about it in a way, or whine about it. And it's like, stop whining. It's another credit card out there that can get you what you want. It's no point of whining. You need to go over there. So let's look at some of these things. The first thing is I want to look at the interest rate. Now, don't forget, I don't just care about interest rates. I don't. We got the variable and we had the fixed rates. That's not necessarily what I'm looking at, because I'm paying my statement balance by my due date anyway. They're never charging me interest. What I care about is, do this credit card ever offer me 0% APR on purchases and balance transfers? That's it. Like, what's the good thing about this credit card? And when I look into the credit card, that's what I'm looking at right now. Again, I don't care if it's a 30% interest rate, because I'm paying a statement balance by the due date, and I'm not trying to hold a balance, or I'm not spending any money on a credit card that I can't just pay back. So that's not my thing. My thing is, do you offer me 0% APR? Because maybe I want to do a balance transfer. Maybe I want to, I don't know. Maybe I just want to, just have 0% APR on purchases. Maybe I want to purchase something. Maybe you guys are in the same boat too. Maybe you want to purchase something for your home, such as you want to do a repair, and now you like, instead of me just paying paying cash, what I can do is I can just give 0% APR. I'll put this cash on my car to stop paying the extra interest on my car, and I'll pay this credit card off because I got 21 months to pay it off. I'll just pay this off. I'll just push the expenses back. Or, you can play with your interest rate with other things like that. But I want to know if they have 0% APR, basically. That's just what I'm thinking about in my head. Another thing I'm thinking about is fees. Like, do this credit card have an annual fee? Is there a balance transfer fee? Some companies are going to charge a balance transfer fee. What's the late payment fee? Which I really shouldn't think about anyway, because I always have my credit cards on auto pay for at least a minimum payment. You can never get a late fee for that. Is there any foreign transaction fees? When I go out the country, are they charging me fees to use my credit card? And also, what's the cash advance fee? I don't believe in cash advances at all. But you want to still know what those fees are. But my biggest one when it come down to this is, what's the annual fee? Is there a balance transfer fee? And can I use this credit card outside the country? Is there going to be a fee on that? Those are the different things I'm looking at. Also, I'm comparing the rewards. And then sometimes, let me back up some. When I say I'm comparing, I'm looking at, hey, I want these 4 credit cards. Okay. Or these are the 5 credit cards I want. And I want to see if these credit cards check off these things. I don't want an annual fee. I want 0% APR. I don't want to pay foreign transaction fees. If I'm going to do a balance transfer, I really don't want a balance transfer fee. If they are going to charge me a balance transfer fee, I want 0% APR on purchases. Because what I'll do is I'll put all of my new purchases on this one credit card and put all the cash that I was going to pay. I'm going to put that on the other credit cards to pay it off, basically. So those are the different things that I'm looking at. I'm thinking, okay, these are the 5 credit cards I want. Let me go down my list. Okay, that's what I'm thinking about. Or if I see that I can get these 5 credit cards, I want to see what other credit card match up with this list, because it may be a bank that I never thought about. It may be a credit union I never thought about, and I just need to figure out if this credit card is going to be good for me. Now, let's talk about the rewards. Does this credit card offer cash back? Maybe I wanted to get a certain amount of cash back for gas because I already travel so much. Maybe you're a traveler, and you want to see if they got travel rewards for you. You want to know also, is this points? What's the points for every dollar? What can you use this for? Products, services, or what can you actually use the points for? It's one of my credit cards I got a lot of points on, and I just don't like the ratio in terms of, for me to get the money off, I got to technically get it off in a gift card, and I just don't like the ratios. It's just been sitting there. I think it will come out to $200 and something in gift cards, but I'm just like, y'all doing me wrong. This is not right. But still, I need to know these different things. Are they rotating categories? These are in terms of my cash back. I need to know all of these different things. Also, sign-up bonuses. Do any of these credit cards give me a sign-up bonus? I love when I got my American Express, my Delta credit card. My American Express Delta, they actually gave me, I think, 65,000 miles. That was something that's like, okay, you know what? I'm going to actually get this one. And again, I don't know if you guys heard me ever talk about this, but I still got so many rewards left. And I used some of that to catch a flight to California, and I only had to pay $11 because, sometimes you got to pay extra fees. I only paid $11 round trip. Amazing, right? I was in love with that. Also, you want to know, like, what credit limit are they going to give you? Is this bank is they known for giving out high credit limits? And not only just the credit limit, but what's my potential of actually getting an increase? That's another thing. Like, do this company give out increases? And you might want to also look at additional benefits. Like, is there purchase protection? Like, if what I bought was damaged or stolen, is there protection when I get my money back? Do they have extended warranty when I use my credit card? Do I get an extended warranty outside of the manufacturer warranty on my purchases? Is there travel insurance just in case I got to cancel a trip, or I lost my luggage, or if it's travel accidents? Is there travel insurance as long as I use this credit card? Is it rental car insurance, like a secondary or primary insurance for rental cars? That's the one thing I did like about Capital One. Also, price protection. Would they refund the difference if the price dropped within a certain period? Is there any type of personal assistance for travel, dining, like concierge services? Is there any type of personal assistance for travel, dining, and entertainment? These are the things that we should think about. And I told you already the redemption options. I really want to know how I'm going to be able to redeem this. I love credit cards. Like I love my Discover. I love my Navy Federal. Apple automatically. I don't really like how Apple do their rewards. Let me not even lie, but I like that I can just put whatever my cash back is. Also too, Wells Fargo, just different companies. I love how I could put my cash back right into whatever my bill is, because there's no point in me taking it out. Just put it towards my bill. That's less I gotta pay. I'm gonna pay my statement balance anyway. Just put it towards that. So I can get an extra $50 off per month just because I use this credit card and my rewards. That's what I just look at it as. Like I get a $50 discount for using this credit card per month because that's what my rewards come up to. And I told y'all I don't like that when I try to redeem my points that I had on one of my credit cards. I don't like that it's gift cards. I need to know what my options are going to be basically. And is it multiple things? Is it cash back? Is it just travel? Is it gift cards? And then two, what's the minimum amount that I need to have to redeem it? Sometimes you got to have a minimum amount that you have to have in rewards to be able to redeem it. So that's something you can think about. And then your credit score requirements. I don't care if you fall in love with a credit card. You need to know what credit score they're really approving people at. That's my biggest thing. I look and see, okay, who all got approved, and then what they said their credit score was, so I know where my credit score needs to be. Did they have any negative accounts on their credit reports? And then they still got it. I need to know all those details, because if you know these details, you will understand, what credit score you're going to need to be able to qualify. So your eligibility, and then also your impact to your credit score. So I want to know, are they going to pre-qualify me without a hard inquiry? That's one of my biggest things. And customer service. Some companies have horrible customer service. Some, if you have some fraudulent transactions, they're going to take care of it right away. And some, it's like they're not even thinking about these transactions. They just let anything fly. And then some where you actually have to, you can't really call them. They have an email service. And these can be just those smaller fintech things too, but maybe they only have an email service. You can't just get on the phone and talk to one of them. So think about that too. And last but not least, you want to see if this credit card have any type of security features. Is there fraud protection? Usually it's a lot of zero liability protection for unauthorized transactions. That's what we kind of just talking about when I say, hey, if you got fraud, you can just call them. Also, are they going to alert you about suspicious activity? And then do they have that EMV chip technology? That's the chip. It's the enhanced security when you're in person doing transactions. So make sure you guys review these different things carefully. This is what I look at, and this is what I think about when I think about applying for a credit card. Don't forget to check out my website, Rickita.com, because I have a list of credit cards that can pre-qualify you without a hard inquiry. But do research on those credit cards too. And I'm going to start pointing out more things like this, because this list right here is, to me, this is, as long as you know these things, you're good. Because you're going to be making a great decision when it comes down to those credit cards and getting approved for. So hopefully this is helpful. And let's actually check out my website now. Hey, beautiful people, it's Rickita. I'm back with another video. So in this video, I want to talk about APRs and what you need to know about APRs. So APRs is annual percentage rates. Now, there is a specific definition for APRs. It is basically the yearly interest rate that's going to be charged for borrowing or earned through an investment. That's all it really is. And when we're talking about credit cards, we're talking about how much you guys are going to be paying on an annual basis. So sometimes with your credit cards, it's going to depend on what it would be. But let's just say the interest rate is 29.99%. That's how much they're going to charge you for the year. So if you were to have that $100, just sit there, just think about you're just paying an additional $30 almost, $29.99, because that's how much they're charging you for the year. Now, this represents the true cost of actually borrowing on an annual basis, and it allows you to actually compare the different credit card products, because if you guys know what the APR is, you can compare them like each credit card. Basically, this APR is 17%. This one is 25. This is 29. It's comparable. It's on the same thing. It's on a yearly basis. So that's something that you guys can use to like compare your credit cards. Also, they have different type of APRs. They have fixed APRs. That's just the interest rate is going to stay the same during the duration of your loan or credit card balance. And that provides you with a predictable monthly payment, especially if you guys are keeping a balance on your credit card. You guys also have variable APR. That means that the interest rate can actually fluctuate, and it's like a benchmark. So based on the changes in a benchmark rate, so which is basically the prime rate. So this is usually, the prime rate is a set rate based off of the market basically. And then they can add more onto that. So they can say, hey, we're going to do prime rate plus this, or whatever the case may be. But that's variable. It's going to change. So your payments going to vary. The one I like the most is in the introductory APR. So it's a temporary lower APR that's offered in the beginning of a loan or a credit card term, which is going to typically going to increase after the introductory period ends. So think about it like this. I like this 0% APR credit cards. Credit card can say, hey, we're going to give you 0% APR. We're not going to charge you any interest for 12 months, for 15 months. Those are the ones I like. And it's usually when you first get your credit card. They're not going to offer you to have their credit card for 10 years. This usually once you get your credit card or once you get your loan, it's offered right then and there. Now, you got to understand how this APR is actually going to affect your payment. So when it comes down to credit cards, their APR on your credit cards is going to affect the interest rate that is charged on your outstanding balance. So if you guys are not paying the statement balance by the due date, then this APR is going to make it so that you have to pay more on your credit card. Now, I always tell you guys about like my Apple credit card payment. So if I was looking at my Apple credit card payment, I really don't have a balance on my card. But let me give you an example. My statement balance now is $89.82. I paid the statement balance last time. I didn't get charged any interest. So they say as long as I pay $89, I'm not going to get charged any interest. But if I decide, actually, no matter, they're saying I'm not going to get charged any interest. Matter of fact, they said, well, let me go back there. Let me not even compare it to this one because I want to give you a real life thing. But sometimes they'll say, hey, if you only make the minimum payment, we're going to charge you an additional $5, $20, $15 in interest. They tell me that on my Apple credit card. And it's going to affect it because if I just paid a minimum of $25, like last month, they told me, hey, if you just paid a minimum of $25, I think I had to pay like $700 something. If I don't pay my $700 some dollars, if you just pay a minimum of $25, we're going to charge you $15 in interest, $15 and some change. So that literally means that only $9 and some change is actually going towards knocking down the balance that I have. So when you guys are not paying the statement balance by the due date, then you guys are basically putting money in these companies' pocket, these credit card companies' pockets. Now, APR on loans determine the total cost of borrowing over the life of the loan. When it comes down to cars, if you guys, one thing I found out when I was paying my car note, I'm still paying off the other car that I have now. But when I paid off my other car, I realized that the more payments that I made on my car, less that they were charging me in interest. So now when I look at my car now that I'm paying off, it's a certain amount that they're charging me per day, but they're charging me my APR based off of the full balance. So once I get that full balance down, lower and lower and lower, they may go from, hey, we're charging you $5 a day in interest to, hey, you're getting charged $4.50 for $4.50 a day to $4 a day, $3.50 a day. It can change. It don't have to go down by 50 cents. It's just an example I'm giving you. But the more you pay towards that principal or just pay on that loan, it's less that they're going to charge you because, again, for a car, they're charging you APR based off of the whole balance. And it's a certain amount they're charging you per day. It's recalculated every day. So that's something I really like. And when it came out to the car too, I paid it up so much. They're like, hey, you don't have a payment for the next year and a half, like 2 years. But my interest went down too, where it's like, oh, we're only charging you $2 per day in interest. So I really like that because you can go from getting charged $10 per day in interest if you have a very horrible APR to, hey, we charge you $5 per day. It's milestones, and it's great because you're saving money. So that your APR is going to affect your payments. And again, sometimes you could pay a minimum, you could pay your minimum payment. Your minimum payment can be the same, but the amount that's actually getting charged in interest can be different. And that's going to determine how much money you're going to have left over that can actually go towards your balance. So definitely keep that in mind. When it comes down to mortgages, it's the same thing. So just make sure that you guys are paying extra towards the principal. And once you pay extra towards the principal, it's less that they're going to charge you because they're charging you a certain amount of interest rate on your full principal balance. And then they break it down in your payments. It flows down to your payments. I thought it was totally different than that. I thought that no matter what, when I pay, like say if you got a $500 car note, I thought that, this is what I thought previously. I thought that, okay, it's $500. I already know $250 of it is going towards my balance and $250 going towards interest. For the remaining of my loan, that's what's going to happen. But that's not true. It's a per day thing when it come down to the car. And when you pay more on the principal balance, the actual balance you have, it's less that they're going to charge you per day. It can go down by pennies. Since you pay the extra $500 payment, we charge you 20 cents less per day. It can be something as simple like that, but it all adds up. And you want most of that money to go towards your balance anyway. Now you can actually calculate your APR. They have the simple interest calculation, and I just didn't want to get into all of this, honestly, because they got simple interest calculation. They got compound interest. All I did was I looked at my statement, like my car statement, and it told me, hey, this month we're charging you this much per day. And then the next statement, it went down. I went off of that. I didn't think too hard. I was like, okay, my next goal is to just bring it down some more. So I'm going to put extra $3,000 on here so I can bring it down from going from $4 per day to $3 per day, or that, you know, my goal was just to bring that number down. I didn't try to calculate APR that much, just to be honest. But if y'all want to calculate it, you have the simple interest and you have compound interest. And compound interest, that's good when you're investing in stocks, but it's not good when you on the other end where it's compounding in terms of with your credit card. If you had you have $100 balance, but you only paid the minimum, so now they charge you $10 in interest. Let's just say that's what the number is. Now it's going to compound because, again, if you don't pay that statement balance again, and you keeping the same 110 on there, now they're going to charge you interest on the 110 as compared to the 100. And now, if you don't pay, you know, the full statement balance, then you're going to keep going and adding more to it, you know, and that's just not what you want to do. Now, there's different factors that's going to basically influence your APR, your credit score for sure. When it come down to a mortgage, when it come down to your car, when it come down to credit cards, they're going to look at your credit score to determine if they can give you a lower rate. That's basically what it is. The terms too. When I got a loan, they gave me options. My last car loan, they gave me options. Hey, you can do 36 months. You can do 48 months. You can do 60 months. You can do 72 months. And every time, well, each one of them, it seemed like my interest rate went up by 1%. And I'm not going to say my dumb butt, but that's what came to my head. Like, my butt was like, oh, it's only extra 3% to get it pushed out to 72 months. Let me do it. Thinking, oh, I'm just gonna pay extra. That sound good. But just start with and it covers your butt too. If you can't make what if you pick 36 months and now you're paying twice as much as what it would have been if you would have picked 72? I understand that, but it's like, if you know you was gonna pay more on it, like, just go with the 36. And then you can already have a lower interest rate. You can bring it down from there. Like, but your credit score is going to basically determine what interest rate you're going to get, the loan terms, and then also the types of credit. Different types of credit got different type of APRs. If y'all do a payday loan, y'all know what the APR can be. The APR can be 100%, 500% when you look at the actual numbers. Personal loans, they may say, hey, it's 30%, it's 15%, depending on where you go. 32% for a personal loan. And then also, if you guys were to think about credit cards, usually you can think 20 to 29%, unless you guys are having a very great credit score and you get one of them ones that say, hey, we only charge you 12%. And then mortgage, that can vary depending on what the rates are at that time. You can have a 3%, 4%, 5%, 10%, 8%. It could just vary. But again, with a mortgage being between the chance of you, that's not say three, because that's probably over right now. But the chance of you having a 4% or a 5% interest rate all the way up to a 10% for a mortgage, compared to a personal loan that may charge you 12% all the way up to 40%, depending on your personal loan. It's just different for each one. So definitely keep that in mind. Credit cards can charge you 30%. It's different. Now, the impact on the APR on your finances, your total interest cost. If you're paying a lot of money in interest every month, I remember being in that cycle. I'm glad I'm out of it by knowing just to pay my statement balance by the due date. Sometimes it's very hard to catch up, and what you're paying in interest can be one of your bills. And I never liked that. Once I found out, like, I paid $300 a month in credit card interest, like, what is wrong with me? I'm like, this is my car note. I'm just giving it away. Or to find out that, some people paying $500 a month in interest, and if they would have put $500 into an IRA every month, they can be a millionaire. Just think about these simple numbers. Plus, you can add more. I just was like, this is mind blowing. There's no way. Once I understood that it's going to impact your finances a lot by paying a lot of interest, and then, oh my gosh, I just said I need to stop this. Your APR can affect your monthly payment. The more that you're paying for your APR can actually make your monthly payment higher. If your APR is lower, you can have a lower payment. And debt repayment too. The higher your interest rate is, the more you're going to have to pay to interest. So you want to make sure that you're paying down that principal balance. Now, how can you guys actually manage this? Because you hear I'm telling you all this information, but how can you actually manage this? I want you guys to compare APRs. Always pay the statement balance by the due date on your credit cards, and pay off and pay down your balances, or pay down the balance on your mortgage, and also make sure you guys paying down the balance on your car, and just pay your statement balance by due date on the credit cards, because 29%, you guys, if y'all look, that's a lot of money. Seriously, I want you guys to look at your credit card statement and see how much they're charging you, and then I want you to compare what they charging you to what you could have got for that, and what bill did you just pay extra. If like $300, that's my energy bill. That means I'm paying two energy bills a month. That's crazy. So just keep that in mind. And then we have APR disclosures where they have to disclose how much your APR is going to be. So I want you guys to look into the regulations if you're having problems with that, and then understand the terms of it, understand what you guys are getting into when you're borrowing this money. If you guys have any questions, definitely let me know. Check out my website, Rickita.com. We're going to actually take a look at it now. But hopefully this video was very helpful and it gave you a great understanding on APRs. Hey, beautiful people. Welcome back to another video. This is episode 188 of Credit 101. In this episode, we're going to talk about how to get the best information on credit card terms and rates. And you guys should definitely look this up, because when I looked at some of the credit cards out there that I necessarily did not have, but when I was growing my YouTube channel, people's like, oh, make a video about this credit card, that credit card. I realized that some of these credit cards were predatory lenders, because they had maintenance fees, horrible annual fees. And I was just like, you're going to charge somebody $100 and some dollars per month on a $300 credit card, a $500 credit card as a annual fee? That is crazy. So that's what I think that you guys need to understand this. So there's a few things that I want you guys to do. Now, the first thing is, if you want to find information on this, you need to definitely start with the research. Compare your credit card offers. You want to look for the different APRs, the fees, the rewards, and benefits. Do some research when it comes down to these credit cards. You can look right on their website. They're going to have all the information about the different credit cards that they offer, the APR, the fees, the rewards, and their benefits. Literally look there. Now, not only do you want to just look on their website, but try to read the fine print. Some credit cards may say, hey, we're going to give you 3% back in rewards, but it's capped at this amount. Some credit cards made, if you look at their terms and conditions, you will see that they actually offer an annual fee that you didn't know about. There's maintenance fees on there. The reward structure may be different, or they're just special terms. You guys have to understand these different things. You have to also look and see, you can look on their terms and conditions. So you can look up Discover Cashback Credit Card Terms and Conditions. And it's going to be different too, because they may give you a different offer than somebody else. But when you look at your terms and conditions, or if they offer you a credit card, look and see if there's annual fees, if there's foreign transaction fees. Maybe you like to travel outside the country and you don't like this credit card because they're going to charge you a 3% fee to use your credit card. You want to look at late payment fees if you just know that you have problems being late. If you pay in the minimum payment, you shouldn't have a late fee. But if you know that there's a chance of this, please look at this. And then also look at balance transfer fees. Maybe you want to do a balance transfer. They offer you 0% APR, but you find out they're going to charge you 5%. And you decide you don't want that credit card anymore. That's something that you guys should look at. You also should be looking at the APR when it comes down to these credit cards. And the one I really want to look at, because I don't care about APR. I don't care if they charge me 1,000%, because I'm paying a statement balance by the due date. That means they're never going to charge me interest, because whatever my balance was last month, I paid it off. What you charging me interest for? What I like to look at is their 0% APR. I want to know how many months it's for. And the reason why I want to know this, and I want you guys to look at this too, is because if they said they're going to give you 0% APR for 12 months, and then say if your due date, like one of my credit cards, my due date was like November 28, 2024, right? That's basically the day that my statement is going to close on that credit card. I had to have the credit card paid off by that date, right? If I don't know what that date is and I don't have it paid off, y'all, they're going to charge me interest on that credit card as if I never had 0% APR. So you might as well just basically never paid anything on it, because they're going to charge you. It's going to look just like that. It's going to look as if you never paid anything on it. So I definitely want you guys to evaluate the different APRs when it comes down to these credit cards. And you want to know too if it's variable or if it's fixed. So definitely evaluate it. Also, consider like the different rewards and benefits. You can see these things on their website, because some credit cards just have certain rewards or cash back. You want to know if it's also what's the points per dollar spent, what's the different category, and you want to know which one have the higher rewards. You also want to know if there's any additional benefits, such as travel insurance, purchase protection, extended warranties. And you can find this out right on their website, and you can also find this out on by just calling them or looking at their terms and conditions in terms of what you guys are going to get for your credit card. And then you want to also look for reviews and ratings. You can look on it on the internet. You can just put Discover credit card approvals, and you can see the approvals for it. If you got a specific credit card, you want to see the Apple credit card approvals. You can look right there. And I put a lot of this on my website also, Rickita.com. If you search any credit card on my website, you should be able to see if I have a review for it. And if I have a review, if anybody got approved for it, like on my YouTube channel, I found out about it, I put it right there so you can just see it. It's there for you. So you can search any credit card right on my website, right at the top. It's a search bar. Just search there and you can see if there's any type of reviews on it or ratings. And if y'all have problems, or if y'all ask me certain questions, I don't know, I'm like, I ain't got your credit card. I literally just call that credit card company and ask them a billion questions. I remember I was in class last night too. And this is a law class. And she's like, when you are working to be a lawyer or a paralegal, you need to be curious. And I was like, okay. And she was like, if you got a question, you need to ask it. Why is it this way? Why is it that way? How can we do this? How can we not? How can you do these different things? And I remember my dad used to say, Pookie, you talk too much. You talk too much. You ask too many questions. But look, you guys, how much that has benefited me now. So if y'all have questions, call and ask. I would literally call and ask about anything, because I don't want to be wrong. And I just read a book called The Four Agreements, and I want to make sure I understand exactly what's going on. I don't want to assume about anything. So if y'all have questions, just contact them and contact the issuer. And make sure you guys are reviewing your credit reports. Check your credit scores. Understand that your credit score is going to impact your terms and rates. If you find out they're giving you horrible terms or they're trying to give you a high APR, you got to figure out what's going on with your credit that's making this happen. And make sure you guys go to my website, Rickita.com. If y'all have any negative accounts, go there. I have a free dispute letter that you guys can use to work on removing any negative accounts that you have on there. Plus, I have other targeted dispute letters if you have bankruptcy, charge-offs, late payments, student loans. I have targeted letters for that. And then make sure you guys compare your credit card offers periodically. Make sure you guys stay updated on the different changes that's happening out there and see if you guys are getting the best terms and rates. I listened to Rich BFF girl. I just literally got her book, and she's like, we need to have the audacity, like rich people. If you know that you got a high APR on something, you can call them and see if they can give you a better APR. If you know you got an annual fee and you don't like that annual fee, call them and see if they can get rid of the annual fee. But make sure you guys regularly compare your credit card offers. And then if you guys see that there is something, like if you have an annual fee on a credit card, just try this out. Call them and say, hey, I'm thinking about canceling the credit card because I do not like this annual fee. I was just wondering, is there anything that I can do instead of just canceling the credit card? Because I really love my credit card. I love your company. I want to stay with you guys, but I just cannot afford this fee. Just see what they're going to say. They may say, oh, you know what? We can get rid of the fee, or we can lower the fee. They're going to tell you something, or they're going to say they can't do anything for you, but at least you tried. That's all I can say. So hopefully you guys can go through these steps and you guys can fully understand how to get the best information on credit card terms and rates. Let's actually check out my website. Hey, welcome to episode 189 of Credit 101. In this episode, we're going to talk about being aware of the pre-approved offers from these credit cards. So I always tell you guys, I love my credit cards that can pre-approve you or pre-qualify you without a hard inquiry. I love that list, and that list is on my website. You can just scroll down and you'll see the pre-qualified with a hard inquiry. We want to go over that a little later after I go over these things. But there's some stuff that you should be aware of. Okay, this is not always good depending on your situation and your credit. If you guys have lower credit scores, you got to look harder than those people that have better credit scores, because if you got better credit scores, they're not just going to hit you with BS. I'm going to be honest. They're not going to try to sneak in a high annual fees and stuff like that. They're not going to have all of that. But if you have lower credit scores, you have to look at these different things for sure. So know the difference between actual pre-approval and the difference between the pre-approval and approval. So pre-approval mean that they looked at your credit they looked at some of it, and they think that it's a chance they can give you a credit card. Actual approval is, hey, we approved you, your credit card coming in the mail. We did full underwriting, you getting your credit card in the mail. So even though I told you guys I have the list that can pre-qualify you without a hard inquiry, until they actually tell you what your limit is, and you go through that full process, and they say your credit card is in the mail, or you can use your credit card now, add it to your Apple Wallet. Until they do that, y'all don't actually have approval. They say, hey, we look like we can give you a credit card. We look like, that's a pre-approval. That's not an actual approval. So you have to understand that. And you have to check for any hidden fees. Sometimes these credit card companies can have high annual fees, balance transfer fees, foreign transaction fees. And then you may not be able to immediately see these things. It's not going to be obvious immediately. So you want to look out for these different things. So make sure you guys carefully read the terms and conditions and understand what fees are associated with this offer. Okay. And you also want to review the APR and the interest rate. I always say pay your statement balance by your due date. You don't have to worry about APR like everybody else, but you still want to compare it. You want to know what APR they do have for you, especially if it's 0% APR. You want to know how many months it is. So when I had got approved for 2 credit cards with the same bank, they gave me 0% APR on both of them. But one of them was like, okay, we'll give it to you for 12 months. The other one said we'll do it for 21 months. Like, those are the 2 credit cards. And I'm like, this is different. And I didn't realize that. I thought both of them honestly was 12 months until I looked, and I like to put my deadline on my spreadsheet for my credit cards. I'm like, what? Y'all give me 21 months? Well, I didn't need it, but I'll take it. Thank you. So you want to actually make sure you compare these different things and consider also the rewards and benefits when they come down to these credit cards. So when you're pre-approved for a credit card, they'll tell you what rewards or benefits that you're going to get, such as cash back, travel points, or discounts. And make sure you guys understand and make sure that these rewards align with your spending habits. I don't want you guys to get a credit card that's going to give you 2% back on dining and you're in your debt-free journey and you're not buying anything. Like, you're not going out to eat, you're eating at home. That's not for you right now at this moment. So you just want to make sure the benefits align with what your current goals are, and make sure you guys be cautious and understand the impact this can have on your credit score. A pre-qualification means we're going to do a soft pull. It's not a hard inquiry, but once you say yes, I want this credit card, it's going to be a hard inquiry. It's going to be a hard pull on your credit report, and it can actually lower your credit score. Okay. And then also, when this credit card is added to your credit, we don't talk about that. When this credit card is added to your credit report, there's other things you need to think about too. And then watch out for the terms and conditions. I like to look in the terms and conditions, and I start to look at the terms and conditions when you get them credit card offers in the mail. I remember I was getting credit card offers in the mail, and I kept getting also, I seen these offers coming in the mail, and I'm like, y'all doing me wrong with these offers. Like, why would y'all ever think I would want this credit card? But I started seeing that people in the comments was actually asking me to do a credit card review on this. And I'm like, well, let me do it. Why not? And I looked at their terms and conditions, and I saw that they had maintenance fees, annual fees over $100. But this is the thing, y'all. These are not credit cards that's like my American Express, or they're going to charge you $99 per month as an annual fee, but you got so much in rewards. So it basically pays for itself. This is a credit card that's probably going to only approve you for $300 or $500. So look at the terms and conditions, like really look through it and look at the different fees on there. And if you guys need help learning how to really read this, let me know, because I can set up a separate video on how to actually read it. And also evaluate your current credit situation. Understand that adding another credit card to your credit report can actually lower your credit score or increase your credit score. If you already got so many credit cards, getting another credit card is going to lower your credit score. Like, anytime I get another credit card at this point, it's going to lower my credit score. Unless I have high utilization and I get approved for a high limit credit card, then it can actually help me, because that credit card is a new amount available that I'm not using, and it can help my utilization. If you guys don't have at least 4 credit cards, and that credit card it should actually increase your credit score. So understand that for sure. And also understand too, sometimes you get those offers in your emails, saying that you're approved for a credit card. Be wary of these different scams, because some of these credit cards can just be saying that some of these companies can be saying that they approved you, but they're not the actual company. All they're doing is trying to get your personal information. So let's actually check out my website so that you guys can see those credit cards that can pre-qualify you without a hard inquiry. Hey, welcome to episode 190 of Credit 101. In this episode, we're going to talk about tips for a safe credit card use. So when you guys get to the point where you have a lot of credit cards like me, it's certain things that you need to do. Okay. It's just being honest. People like, well, how are you going to manage 15 credit cards? How are you going to manage 10? How are you going to manage 20? There are certain things that I personally do to manage my credit cards, and it's some tips that I want to let you guys know about it. So first of all, make sure you guys keep your information secure. Just don't put your information on any credit card, on any website. So make sure you guys are on secure websites. You're actually looking for it at HTTPS in the URL, and that's going to let you guys know that your transaction can be safer. And make sure you guys don't be on public Wi-Fi when you guys doing transactions. And make sure also that for all of your credit cards, you have them stored in one safe place. You don't want to just take these credit cards out with you. So by the time this video come out, I've already been back home from traveling. So tomorrow I have to travel. And when I travel, I'm only taking certain credit cards with me. I'm probably gonna take only 2 credit cards with me, maybe 3. And I have my Apple Pay, so I know I don't even really need to physically take my credit cards with me. I'm gonna keep them stored at home in a safe place. Or you guys can get a safe deposit box if that's what you want. I've done it also. Get you a box and just keep them in there if that's something that you want to do. But make sure that you guys are keeping your information secure. And then monitor your statements regularly. Review your statements. Make sure that you don't have any unauthorized charges on there. And if you see any issues and spot them, make sure you guys report them right away. And I like to set up some alerts on my credit cards where they're going to tell me about certain purchases, my payment due dates, my spending limits. They're going to let me know these different things. And I also like for your credit card, maybe you could put alerts out there where they're going to tell you when you're using too much of your credit card, or if you had a recent transaction that may be too high. But maybe they want to do that also too. Hey, like, you got a transaction for this amount, can you please verify it? I get that a few times too, depending on how much I'm actually spending on a credit card. And then make sure you guys pay your balance on time. I say pay your statement balance by your due date. Make sure you pay your minimum balance no matter what too, if you can't pay your statement balance, because your statement balance is everything that you owe last month basically. That could be $4,000, that could be $2,000, that could be $500, it could be different. But if you don't have money like that and you can't pay it, just make sure you pay at least that minimum payment so that you don't get any type of late fees, because I think that's where the problem is going to come in with a lot of people. So make sure you avoid the late fees, and make sure that you pay your balance down a lot, because that's going to help you improve your credit score. And again, paying your balance down, that's going to help with your utilization. I always say, never in your lifetime should you have your utilization over 30% unless it's a 0% APR credit card. Well, let me not say that. When you apply for a credit card, at least you should never have it over 30%. For example, I have 0% APR credit cards. I told you guys this previously. I have 0% APR credit cards. So I'm not caring about what my utilization is right now on any of my credit cards. I'm just paying a statement balance by the due date. That's it. I'm not doing any overspending on my credit cards. I'm just doing that because I know, since I have those 0% APR credit cards where the utilization is over 30%, it's not looking good for my credit anyway, because my utilization is high. But I know when it's time for me to apply for something, I need to pay all these balances down to 5% or below. I'm not applying for anything with a high utilization, period. So make sure you guys do that and just pay down your credit cards to make sure that you're not paying a lot of interest on these credit cards, because you want to make sure that you guys are being mindful of the different fees. You guys need to know about the annual fees, foreign transaction fees, late payment fees, and then also understand their fee structure when it comes down to these credit cards, so that you can basically avoid unexpected changes. So that's something that you guys definitely need to understand, and use your credit responsibly. Do not use your credit cards if you know that you can't pay off that statement balance, because you know that you're paying interest on something. And it's horrible when you're paying interest on little things like eating out or trips. It's like, no, that's not what you want to do. You're going backwards. So make sure you guys look at your budget, and you guys are really just use your credit cards for things that's on your budget. To me, if it's outside and you're talking everyday use, we're not talking about business or anything like that with your personal credit cards. To me, I'm not using anything that for my credit cards that's not on my budget. And that includes like spending money too. So if I travel and I know I got $100 spending money because that's what I want to do. So if I have $100 spending money, I'm just doing light traveling. I'm not doing nothing extravagant. I'm going to use my credit card to pay for that. And I know I put in my budget for cash, but I'm going to use my cash to pay off my credit card, because at least I can get the rewards. And just make sure that you keep track of your credit score. You want to know where your credit score is at, whether it's going up and down. And you have Credit Karma that is totally free that you guys can use. So definitely check them out. And if you guys were to have a lost or stolen card, make sure you guys report this credit card immediately, because if you don't, you're not going to know what they're going to do. My biggest fear, and which is why I make sure I have my Apple Pay, my biggest fear is somebody taking my credit card and it's a $10,000 limit on it, and they just maxing it out, and now I have to fight with the credit card company to actually have them take care of that. So I like to just make sure if I have a stolen or lost credit card, I let them know immediately. And then when you guys get your rewards, like I said, all my credit cards, I don't say if I get like 2% back on dining or something like that, I'm not just gonna just go dining because I'm gonna get 2% back. I'm gonna use that credit card when it's time for me to go dining. I know that it's there. If I get 2% back on restaurants, I know that when I go to a restaurant, I will use you, but I'm not going to use you because you're going to give me 2% back, because that's not going to be worth it. Make sure you guys are just using your rewards wisely too. In the previous video, I said that I love some of my credit cards that offer me the option, like Discover, that they offer me the option of just whatever my rewards are, my cash back is. They can just put that on my bill. I love that. Same thing with Navy Federal. I can just take my rewards, put it in my savings account, and I could just use my savings account to pay my bill. Like, I like things like that, but just make sure you're using your rewards wisely. But let's check out my website. I have some credit cards on there that can pre-qualify you without a hard inquiry, but just make sure that you guys are using your credit card. This is episode 191 of Credit 101. And in this episode, I want to talk to you guys about your credit card statements and notices. A lot of people don't even look at these notices, and a lot of times the credit card companies will ask us would we like to get our notices via email. And the reason why they're asking this to me is because they don't want us to really look at them. And the reason why I think they don't want us to look at them is because we may have some fraudulent charges, and they'll have to fight with the different companies for us if we find fraudulent charges. And not only that, when I had a late payment before, I found out that we have something in the billing act stating that if we get our notices in the mail, but for some reason we change our address and we get the statement at our old address, we weren't able to update our new address, then they'll have to remove the late payment and then also late charges. And I use that to reverse a late payment that I had previously. So I always tell people, look at these different statements that you guys may get from all your different credit card companies. You just never know. Go line by line. And to be honest with you, I did not start looking at my statements until I got deep into budgeting. When I got into budgeting, I had to look at it because I wanted to know, what am I spending my money on? So I started to look at my statements to see exactly what I'm spending my money on. What can I do to cut back on these different things? And then I'll see, okay, I'm spending too much money when I'm eating out, so I need to cut back on eating out. Or I'm spending a lot of money on travel, I need to cut back on that. Or not only that, I need to make sure I'm doing certain travel that I can actually write off for my business. But I started to look at my statements, and I seen exactly what was going on in terms of where's my money going. Another thing is, you guys want to check your notices. You know how you may ask for a credit increase on your credit card, and they'll say, hey, we'll get back to you in 5 to 7 days. Please look and see what they send you in the mail, because they'll tell you exactly what's wrong. So when you look and you see, oh wow, I got a notice in the mail, you'll see, okay, you denied me an increase because of these 3 things. They'll tell you why. So we need to start reading these notices. Even if you guys apply for a credit card, they'll tell you why. Sometimes they'll send you the notice in your email, but you guys definitely need to look at these notice and statements. And I wanted to talk about a few more things. So I added it to my blog. My blog is on my website, Rickita.com, but you guys should be able to see it down below in the description. But please look at your statements. I cannot stress this enough. I look at mine, even if I don't look at my actual statement, let me be honest. Like, I paid my Navy Federal bill today. Even if I don't look at the statement, I scroll through my transactions, make sure that there's nothing that I did not personally do on there. And then make sure that I'm paying a statement balance by the due date. And for some reason, they did not charge me. Make sure that they did not charge me any interest. But please check these statements. And let me actually show you my website so you guys can get familiar with it. Hey, welcome to episode 192 of Credit 101. In this episode, we're going to talk about identity theft. I need you guys to understand identity theft fully. I also have a link down below to a company called Aura. They have a 14-day free trial that you guys can actually use to see if you guys have any fraud on your account, and they actually protect you against fraud. So the next few episodes is going to be about identity theft. So, because this is a big thing. If you guys have identity theft, it can really ruin your life. So the next one is going to be about it, to make sure that we're avoiding this and we're staying on top of everything. So first off, you guys need to know what identity theft is. And the definition is, identity theft involves the unauthorized use of someone else's personal information, such as their social security number, credit card details, or even a bank account information, to commit fraud or other crimes. So there is different types of it. You got financial identity theft. That's when somebody open up credit card accounts, make purchases, or take out loans. You got medical identity theft. That's when someone obtained medical services or prescriptions, and that's in your name also. Criminal identity theft is when someone is arrested or involved in criminal activities. And then tax identity theft, when someone else has used social security number to file fraudulent tax returns or claim refunds. Now, you guys need to know how this stuff can occur. It can happen through data breaches, maybe like a company, your information, like you had AT&T and somebody hacked AT&T, it got your information. Maybe it's a phishing scam. They got fraudulent emails, texts, or calls, and then you end up giving out some of your personal information, or they end up getting information that way. Skimming, maybe they're trying to capture credit card information during certain transactions. Some people even dumpster dive. Some people also steal your mail. So you got mail theft. And then you guys have to understand that when it comes down to all these different identity thefts, you may not even think it's even happening. So you guys need to know like the different signs of identity theft. So if you guys see unexpected change to your credit report, maybe you have a new account that you don't even know about, strange transaction, maybe you're getting collection notice and you're like, I don't even ever remember this. You guys have to look into that. Maybe you got tax issues. Maybe the IRS is talking to you about unfiled tax returns or some discrepancies in your tax returns, or you have some unusual medical bills. You're like, I never did this. Those are the different things that you guys definitely have to look at. Now, the steps to actually protecting yourself. I told you guys, get the Aura trial. It's 14 days free. It's a free trial. Go in there and see exactly what they offer. They have so much that can help you through this process. Make sure you guys have your personal information secured. You have secure password. If Apple say you need to change your password, change it. I get that a lot. I know you guys are getting it a lot too, since your password has been compromised. Change it. Make sure you guys freeze your credit reports. Check your accounts regularly, like your banks, credit cards, your credit reports. Just check these accounts regularly, and be cautious when you're purchasing anything online. Be cautious and beware of some scams. Like, know when there is a scam. Now, if you guys do find out that you have identity theft, what I want you guys to do is report it to the FTC, contact the credit bureaus, and notify any law enforcement, like just basically file a police report, and then dispute any fraudulent accounts with the creditors or institutions, and just make sure that you're monitoring your account together. And last but not least, we have to talk about recovering. So make sure you guys correct any errors that's in your credit reports. Follow up about any fraudulent activity being removed. So make sure that you're restored to your pre-theft status, and then stay vigilant. Stay vigilant. So if you guys sign up for that 14-day free trial with Aura, when you see that there is things there that shouldn't be there, make sure you guys do something about it. Make sure you guys contact them. They can actually help you through the process. Now let's go over to episode 193. And then I also want to show you my website. So let's check that out. Hey, welcome to episode 193 of Credit 101. In this episode, we're going to talk about how identity theft happens. So we talked a little bit about identity theft yesterday. We're going to go more into it today. And some of you guys may not think this can happen to you, but it almost happened to me. And that's why I'm so happy that all the videos, I won't say all the videos, but a lot of previous videos, I made videos about Aura, because they actually help with identity theft. They'll let you know if your information is ever exposed. And we're going to go over some other things, because maybe you don't need a service like that, but it can definitely help you guys, because I almost had identity theft, and then my mom said that my dad had a situation that happened, and I'm like, what? So definitely we're going to go over that. But the first thing is data breaches. You guys have to understand that when these companies have data breaches, what they're doing is these companies are having scammers basically come, and sometimes they'll take the information from the companies, and they'll say like, all your information been exposed, your passwords. Depending on the company, it could be social security numbers if they're taking over banks and certain things like that. But through data breaches, their data has been breached. They're getting this information. And if you guys have negative accounts in your credit report, you could probably use this as a reason as to why the account needs to be deleted, because maybe it was in a breach. And if you guys check out Aura, I have a 14-day free trial. too, just so you guys can check it out. They would actually let you know if your information was ever exposed in the dark web. They could even keep track of like your bank accounts and things like that too. So definitely check them out. You also have phishing scams. Now, a lot of people, again, they don't think these things can happen to them, but think about those spam emails that we're getting, text message, phone calls. I literally got one today, which was crazy. Like, have y'all ever got the one, this is the one I got today, saying that my UPS something wasn't, it got lost or something, and need me to click the link to confirm it, and is a package supposed to come to my house? That's a scam. That's what the phishing scams can be, or just in your emails. And you also can have skimming happen. That's when you're putting your credit card information in online, or some of your personal information, and they're actually getting your information that way. And I usually don't like to put my credit card information in. I will do Apple Pay. A lot of websites, I love that they do the Apple Pay, and that can, to me, is an extra form of security. But with the scamming, you guys, is basically copying our information during transaction. Now, the next one is crazy, but we have to think about it, is dumpster diving. Just think about people that all they want to do is take over people's identities. They can dumpster dive for your information, so be careful. And also mail theft, because a lot of times they dumpster dive and they trying to get your mail. They may even go mailbox and just get it. You can also be putting your information in online. Like, I was just looking up ways to get more scholarships. I'm working my way up to law school to get my master's in early child education. So one of the things where I was looking up scholarships, because I actually got a scholarship before, and I'm like, I need to get more, because I never thought that, since I'm not right out of high school, I never thought that I could still get scholarships at this age, or even where I'm at in school. And they was like, watch out for certain websites that may collect certain information from you, but it's just a scam. They're going to use your information for other things. So definitely watch out for the social engineering. Public Wi-Fi networks. If you're in public, you're buying things, you on a public network. Credential stuffing. When it come down to credential stuffing, basically it's like our usernames and passwords, basically being on the dark web. That's what I would just say, is it basically on the dark web, or however they're getting this information out. Think about, and then when I think about this, I think about how iPhone, when you put your password in, they're like, hey, you need to change this password, plus like mine is like 53 others. I'm like, what? Because your information has been exposed. That's what I think about with the credential stuff. And so you guys definitely have to look into that. And impersonation, I had someone fake like that was from my bank calling me from the number from the bank too. I don't know how he was able to do that. And they start asking me questions, and I'm like, you should know this. How about you tell me? And I went all the way into giving certain information. And I really thought this was real. And I'm like, how don't you know this? Why do I have to give you this information? So definitely watch out for that. But definitely get that 14-day free trial, or if you want to see if you have already had things going on, or if you want to even protect yourself in the future. And again, it's only $14, and it can actually protect your children and their social security numbers also. And there's other things that they actually provide. But let's actually check out my website. Hey, welcome to episode 194 of Credit 101. Let's go over these things that you guys can do to protect your identity and protect yourself from identity theft. I do have a link to Aura, who can actually help you to protect your identity. They can also help your family too. Even just surfing the web with VPNs, they have different protections they can have you for your bank account. Definitely check them out. It's a 14-day free trial. Now, the first thing is monitor your credit reports. I look at my credit reports and scores daily, but you guys can just do it once a week or once a month, at least once a month. Seriously, and have alerts. Like Credit Karma will alert you on certain things. Check your email and have those alerts set. But you guys should be checking your credit regularly, and do not go like a year, 2 years without checking your credit. Don't wait till you want to get a car, till you want to get a credit card to think about checking your credit, because then it may be too late. And then now you're trying to figure out how to fix it, which we're going to talk about a little later on. But please check it on a regular. Make sure you guys use a strong password. I a lot of times let Apple just pick my password, because I might try to pick the same thing. I just let Apple pick my password, and it's a stronger password, I don't have to sometimes worry about that being taken over. Or say if one of my passwords is compromised, Apple will say, hey, you use this password multiple times. You've been using this password too many times. So I learned to just go that route. And I forgot to say too, if you guys need a copy of your credit report and your credit score with it, I do have a $1 free trial to Identity IQ. It's down below in the comments. So definitely check that out. And make sure you guys are securing your personal information. Do not just have your personal information out there. And like your social security card, remember those things should stay at home. Make sure you guys are shredding documents such as your bank statement, credit card offers, tax returns before you dispose of them. Okay, make sure you're shredding them. Last episode, we were talking about dumpster divers. Like, this stuff is real. And be cautious when you're online, when you put your information in. Make sure that you are on a secure website, which means that you'll usually see the HTTP. If you see that, or you see like a lock on the website, that means that you are on a secure website. Don't use those public Wi-Fi's putting up in-person information, because that'll mess it up. Next, I want you guys to monitor your financial accounts. Log into all of the different credit cards you have, all the bank accounts that you have, and really look at all those accounts. So on my phone, what I did was I put all of my bank accounts in one thing called a finance. Right up under there is my other account. So my bank accounts at the top, down below is my credit cards. And then to the right of the one at the bottom, I do have little things that I may use for finances in there, but you definitely need to monitor. I log in and actually look into my bank accounts every single day. And when you're trying to grow your bank accounts, if you're trying to pay off debt, or you're trying to keep your money, or make sure that you don't have any scam going on, you guys should be checking those accounts daily, at least weekly, or look at your statements. Again, that's a monthly thing, but make sure you're looking at your statements. And protect your mail. Maybe you want to think about getting you a mailbox to actually have a key, or getting all the information or all of your mail sent to a P.O. box if you have reason to believe that someone's actually stealing your mail, or if you want to protect certain things that you may be getting in the mail. You guys may think that, oh my gosh, I may have scams going on, or I may get caught up in a scam, and know that it could really happen, because I literally get calls, emails, text messages from companies that, or people that's acting like they're certain companies. Like, I just got a text message from someone saying my UPS package has been delayed, or they just want to confirm that it's me, like I sent somewhere else. And it's like, I know it's a scam. I just put right on my text messages, since I got an iPhone, that it is a scam. And make sure you guys are using identity theft protection. Again, Aura is out there. It's a 14-day free trial. See if you guys like it. Go in there, see exactly what's going on there, and see how it can actually help you, because they can help with VPNs. They can help protect your family. They can give you access to look at your credit report there too. So it's so much that they can actually do. Go there, 14-day free trial, look around and see if you like it. I definitely suggest that you guys do. I wouldn't, if you had fraud before, you can put a fraud alert on there, but to me, just a freeze will do. I don't really want fraud alerts on my credit, but a simple freeze can do. You can call the credit bureaus, tell them put a freeze on, or you can actually log into your account and put a freeze on. To me, the easiest when it comes down to freezes is going to be Equifax and TransUnion with the online service, because it seems like Experian is not doing it anymore for free online. Like, they're trying to make people to do like a credit lock. Excuse me, but I think that you guys should actually call Experian and get a lock. Get a freeze put on your credit. Now, you guys have to report any identity theft immediately. I just had a client where we sent the dispute letter out, and the company was like, hey, if it's identity theft, send us the FTC report about the identity theft, and then send us a police report, and they're going to act immediately. And that's what you need to do. You need to file identity theft report with the FTC, and then you also need to file something at your local police station saying that you had fraud. But let's go ahead and check out the website, and don't forget, get that 14-day free trial with Aura.